Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike from the Focus Garage here, and we are coming back from a little late fall, warm day photo shoot here with the RS3. We had a couple different cars together here. We had two F80 M3s, we had a 6th gen Camaro SS, and we were just kind of checking out a local spot that we've never been to before. We kind of wanted to see what it would photograph like. So we were out there, met up with my buddy Alex, who's a great automotive photographer. And we also met up with Tom, who's getting into automotive video. So he's really trying to kind of optimize for like Instagram Reels and things like that. He's got this crazy camera and gimbal setup. Really, really neat. I'll share with you guys kind of what I've got after, you know, everything is released from the photographers today. But it's cool. We were able to get out, get a couple different cars together, hang out with some friends, you know, enjoy a nice warm Sunday morning in November. And now it's about a 45-minute ride for me home, kind of through some more scenic country roads here. So you can kind of see, got some nice, again, colors, kind of curvy road, a little bit of everything going on here. Just out enjoying the scenery, taking a drive for the RS3 before the roads are just totally shot for the winter. I'm hoping that we can get some good weather here before any kind of real snowfall or anything. Some years we haven't had snow till January. Some years it snows for Halloween. We're already past Halloween, so I'm hoping we've kind of made it out of that. But yeah, I've been driving the car more and more on the Enkei PF01s as opposed to the BC Ford setup, just since that's off for the year. And it's so much funnier how quiet a good set of all-season tires is versus summers, especially you know, once it gets kind of more cold out and the tires get harder. These all-seasons have made the car even quieter and just more kind of enjoyable to drive. So we're cruising around on those. The wheels are still like a nice lightweight set of fun wheels here. One thing that I do want to focus on getting, especially before the weather gets too bad though, is some clips of just kind of what it sounds like with the engine bay mic'd up and the exhaust mic'd up. Obviously I'm just holding the camera now here in the car, so you really won't hear much. I hope you get a little bit of that. The turbo noise is absolutely insane, and you just get that beautiful, you know, 5-cylinder roar out of the exhaust. It's good, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people have also asked me too, having owned a GTI, having owned an S3, is the RS3 kind of worth the price differential that it commands? And honestly, what I tell most people, unless you're like kind of really into like these Audi cars and the 5-cylinder heritage, and unless you're driving it, you know, at its limit, or you're trying to build a car for speed, it's really not worth it to the average Joe. Just because a comparably priced RS3 is about double what a similar miles and year S3 goes for. And I mean, obviously it's a very, very similar interior, it's a very, very similar chassis. You're not getting double the car, but for me, having the, you know, 5-cylinder noises, the turbo, you know, obviously that accompanies that, the much, much superior DQ500 transmission, the 7-speed dual clutch, that's great. The big RS brakes, that's great. All of that is fantastic, and I love it, and it's worth it to me. I've always wanted one of these cars. I've been a big fan of the Volkswagen Audi MQB chassis, as I've now owned 3 of these different MQB cars. So I like all that, and I wanted to get, you know, kind of the top dog, you know, OEM performance-wise that you can get out of that. And obviously, once you start modifying it, you can't even compare the two. You know, you can make an RS3 significantly faster compared pound for pound with like a S3 or a Golf R. So yes, it's worth it to me for that reason. But if you're just jumping into one of these cars and you want like a fun daily driver, all-wheel drive, turbocharged car, I'd say go for the Golf R, go for the S3, and save yourself, you know, $25,000. Obviously, as things, you know, return to normal and the market kind of readjusts and everything, you may be able to get these back in like the 40s again. We're slowly starting to see these come down. It's harder to justify buying one of these also for the price that they're going for, you know, the 2017 and 2020s, when the MSRP of a brand new one is around the same. But the problem is you can't get a brand new one. And if you can order one, you're gonna be waiting 1.5 to 2 years for it. And if you find one in stock at a dealer, you're gonna be paying a crazy markup on it. So it's like, you're kind of stuck with that awkwardness there, where it's like, you can kind of overpay for a previous gen one or wait forever for a brand new one. So, I mean, that's kind of up to you. Another thing that I'd like to do though is get some seat time in a bone stock RS3 that's the same generation as mine, because mine has a lot of suspension and handling mods, And I can't tell if the difference that I'm feeling from my S3 to this RS3 is due to the suspension mods and stuff that this RS3 has, or if it's just due to the fact that the RS3 chassis is that much different with the suspension setup and the different weight distribution of the engine and everything like that. I'm thinking it's more towards the mods that are on the suspension of this. Some big ones, namely, would be the rear sway bar, all of the subframe collars, all of the engine mounts, all of the trans mounts, and the Super Pro spherical bushing control arms. I think all that is what I'm feeling, not so much just kind of what a stock RS3 would be feeling like. So again, that's another thing that I'm sure handling wise, the RS3 may not be that different from an S3 unless you go ahead and you modify the suspension and all that. But you could just modify the suspension on an S3 also. But obviously, if you're going to be doing a track day, I'm sure the gigantic 8-piston front brakes on the RS3 would be far superior to the sliding style piston, very, very much smaller setup that you get on an S3 or Golf R. So just things to consider. And now obviously you've got the 8Y S3 as well as the Mark 8 Golf R. So, those kind of slot in the middle as well. They're a little bit bigger brake than you're getting on the MK7 / the 8V cars. A lot to consider. Just kind of wanted to talk about that because I am asked a lot, if this car is any, significantly better, different, worth the price premium over my S3. Another thing too, while I'm on the topic of that, is the power delivery is so different. This RS3 is modded. Obviously, it's a stage 1 plus car, so still stock downpipe. I'm just on 93 octane right now. But in comparison to even a modified S3, the biggest difference I noticed is how the car makes the power. Is with the S3, you're in boost almost all the time and instantly, whereas with this RS3, it is kind of that like old school mentality of like, you've kind of got to wind it out and you want the power, and there's, I don't want to say lag because it's not turbo lag as much as like, really, really old cars, but there is some, you got to want it. You got to wind the car out a little bit. It is happier in the higher RPMs once that thing kind of gets in the full spool there. So there is some lag with the turbo, so you do find yourself winding it out before it really gets into boost and before you get kind of that power kick with it. Keeps things interesting, honestly, and makes it a little bit more rewarding. Obviously, the S3 may feel faster kind of around town and at slower speeds, but once you get this RS3 going, holy cow, it's not even close. But if you guys do have any other questions or thoughts or concerns as far as like opinions on S3 versus RS3, definitely let me know. I can make another video kind of answering your questions and explaining further as far as what I think. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I will play some kind of music and pictures and videos of what I've got out of our little photo shoot today. I'll start with the stuff that I took on my phone just as a total amateur, and then I'll drop the professional pictures and videos after that. Thanks for checking out this video. I will catch you guys in the next one.